All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you for being here. It's first meeting of 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll begin with roll call, starting with District 1.
DeAndre Knox in District 1.
Keith Love, District 2.
Thelma Bowie, Commissioner at Large.
Dedrick Johnson, Mayor.
Abel Garza, Commissioner at Large.
Chris Sharp, District 3.
Jamie Clark, District 4.
All right, let the record reflect. A quorum has been established. We do have a unanimous presence here. And we will begin with an invocation. We're happy to have with us today from Mount Zion Baptist Church, Pastor D'Angelo Mahoney. And so, Pastor Mahoney, if you'll come on up, and we'll give you an opportunity to have any announcements after our pledges. Our pledges will be led by Commissioner DeAndre Knox.
Let us pray. Oh, Eternal Father, once again, we thank you. Now, Lord, we ask you to watch over all of our city officials. We ask you to continue to crown their head with wisdom and knowledge to lead Texas City in the way that you want it to go. Now, Lord, we also ask you, Father, to watch over each and every one of us that's in this place. Help us to be better citizens so that folks will know that we know you and that we love you and that we should love one another. These are minimal blessings in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledges. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right. Thank you, Pastor Mahoney. If there's anything you'd like to share with the citizens of Texas City about the things that are going on at Mount Zion Baptist Church, you can give us an update if you like.
Yes, we decided, Mount Zion Baptist Church has decided to be more faithful and more involved in the things that the city is trying to do and be more informative in the community in which we serve. So we just want to let you know that whenever you need us, just call on us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. At this time, we are up to our reports. Throughout the year, you will hear annual reports from different departments, and today we have an annual report from our Human Resources Department, our HR Director, Ms. Jennifer Price.
Hello, Mayor and Commissioners.
Hello.
I left you guys some little goodie boxes there. I'll tell you about them a little later.
All right.
So this is for the period January 1 through December 31st of 2024. Oh, thanks. Oh, okay. So last month we had a leadership summit or a leadership meeting for all of the city leaders, and we talked about things like our mission, and so I wanted to put the City of Texas City mission there along with the Human Resources mission. So the mission of the City of Texas City is to serve and benefit our citizenry equally and fairly by providing professional, dependable services oriented towards enhancing the quality of life for our customers, improving our community, protecting our environment, and instilling pride in our employees. We will accomplish these goals through people, policies, and procedures that inspire caring, responsive, and quality public service. So currently, the Human Resources mission is to strive to provide support in the highest degree of service regarding employment, benefits, compensation, and safety. All right. Some of the core values and guiding principles that we've talked about in our department are up there for you. A couple of them, I'm not going to list all of them, but empathy, ethics, diversity, inclusion and respect, positivity. So those are things we think about in our department when we're doing our work. Who we are. Me, I'm the director. Annette is the benefits coordinator. Susan is the training and workers' comp coordinator. And then this budget year, we got 2 more positions for the department. One of them is coming soon. The other one, we're reviewing applications. So I'm gonna go through these a little quick because there's a lot of information there, but some of the things that we do, benefits, we review benefit proposals, work with the brokers on finding the best deals for employees, assist in plan and open enrollment. And then as far as recruitment, selection, and hiring, we take in the applications, we coordinate all the pre-employment testing, all the paperwork, post the positions, etc. Along with that, onboarding all the policy acknowledgements, talk about the different benefits, employee relations, we do conflict resolution, we work on employee advocacy or work with supervisors on getting the employer or their employee more in communication with their supervisor sometimes. And then compensation, so the pay plan and grading. We work with directors on new positions, where they should be in the pay grade, pay for performance when that's budgeted. And then policies, create and evaluate solutions, address policy-related concerns. So a lot of time people are coming to us asking us our interpretation of policies or how they should interpret it. All right, and then some of the fun stuff. So currently, active employees, we have 488 full-time, 56 part-time. So those are active employees. We have budgeted 621. Of that, 69 are summer. So of the budgeted full-time year-round positions is 552, but we're at 544, so not too bad. That next graph is the employees by department. So you can see kind of the makeup there. I did just want to note that in administration, we did include communications, HR, EDC into that as well. But as you can see, a big chunk is public safety. All right. As reported, the workforce, 145 are female, 398 are male. So that's about 73% male, 27% female. And then to the right, the table shows the age bands. I think I got one number in there wrong, so don't check my math. But that shows the breakdown of the age groups, male, female, and the total there. So I thought this was kind of interesting, the generations that are at work for the city. So there's baby boomers, Gen X, millennial, and Gen Z. I have the years there below. So let's see, millennial is about 36%, and Gen X is 33%, so that takes up a big chunk there. But it was interesting to see the different generations in our workforce. So 544 current employees. The average age is 42.7, and the average number of years that they've worked for the city is 8.1. So one of the big things that we do is take in applications. So 2024, I have the breakdown by month of how many applications came in. So the total for the year was 1,534, and that's not including the ones that go directly to fire and police, because I know they get a lot that go directly to them. We had 160 new hires last year. 59 of those were summer hires. 44 were in public safety, 20 were administrative roles, and then 37 were laborers or in the field somehow. So 2024, there was 137 terminations, and we call them terminations, but it could be leaving the city for any reason. It could be retirement, they were terminated, they resigned, and then, as you'll see, end of summers. So 44 of those were end of summers. And then to the right, the terminations by department, I left out end of summers. And the blue is resigned, yellow is retired, and green is terminated. So you'll see by department, it shows the numbers there. All right, so for 2024, the overall turnover rate was about 15.2%. Of that, the new hire turnover rate was 23.6%. So that means of all the new hires, the ones that left within a year that rate was 23.6. And by department, I have it broken down there, the new hire turnover by department. So there was not huge numbers, but the highest was in fire and in PD, in the civilian employees. All right, and this is just some interesting information. So all city employees except the fire union, pay into TMRS for our retirement. So we have 452 employees paying into TMRS. As of 12/31/2024, 102 were eligible to retire. If none of those retired in 5 years, there would be 206 employees eligible to retire. So the graph to the right is those 102 that were eligible at the end of last year by department. As you can see, Public Works has the biggest there, followed by police, and then Parks and Recreation. But it's kind of spread out after that. All right, and this is just the fire pension information because they pay into their own retirement. So they have 87 active employees paying into their pension. As of 12/31/2024, there was 2 eligible to retire. And then that number goes to 13 if nobody retired in 5 years. And then on the right, there is the years of service and the age of the current employees paying into that. And the blue and green, beautiful shaded boxes are the 2 that are eligible to retire. All right, some highlights from 2024. So we launched a new City of Texas City Advocate call center through our benefit broker hub. So that's a place that people can call, ask questions about their insurance, if they have questions about how their co-pays work or how they're out of pocket, any help with their benefits, they can call that number. March of last year, we had an employee benefits survey, and we took some of that information into the year when we were going out for bid with the new insurance. We had the Employee Health and Safety Fair, which we have every May. Our new broker provided a Medicare resource for employees, which has been something that I get asked about frequently. So how to navigate that process when you're still working, but you're eligible for Medicare. And then we had the first Wellness Expo. So we did biometric screenings, we had skin cancer screenings, a blood drive, flu vaccines. We had wonderful massages from Zeal. We introduced a new financial benefit is FinPath for employees. And then we also introduced the new enrollment system that employees use for open enrollment, which is called Benefit Connector. We gave away HelloFresh meal boxes that were then sent to employees' homes. And we had these wellness boxes from Bunny James. So there were 3 different kinds. There were one that have snacks, or healthy snacks, one on mindfulness and one on stress management. So these were all purchased, and that whole Wellness Expo was funded by wellness dollars from Cigna, or our insurance provider. So nothing was paid for by the city. It was all from somebody else. And I think that might be it. So just a note on the new insurance. So January 1, we started with Blue Cross Blue Shield for the medical and pharmacy. Dental, we switched to United Concordia. VSP is Vision. Mutual Omaha for basic life, long-term, short-term disability. And Deer Oaks is the new employee assistance program. And FinPath, again, that financial wellness. So those were the new ones in 2025. And then on the right there are the ones that are staying the same. So Zero Health, where employees pay nothing for things like blood work, imaging, some procedures, the gap coverage through Allstate, the health savings, flex spendings, and then voluntary benefits all stayed the same as far as the vendor. Have any questions?
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Commissioners, y'all have any questions of HR? Anybody have any questions? Ms. Price?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
All right, thank you very much. Now at this time, we will hear an annual report from the City Secretary's office, our City Secretary, Ms. Ramari Lee.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Romari Leet, and I'm here to present the City Secretary's Office Annual Update. The City Secretary's Office is made up of 2 personnel, so myself, Romari Lee, TRMC and BDR, and Renee Edgar, your Records Manager. The Office of the City Secretary is a statutorily required position in the state of Texas. You can find in the Texas Local Government Code, section 22.071, where that is required, and the powers and duties found in section 22.073, but I've provided a breakdown for you as it relates to specifically the city of Texas City. So 3 main categories: management, compliance, and administration. Management of not only city commission, but also the 7 major corporations of the city. So that would be EDC, public facilities, industrial development, and so on and so forth. That's their agendas, minutes, notices, resolutions, and ordinances. Compliance relates to public information requests, contracts, bingo licenses, alcohol permits, so on and so forth. And administration, that is the general city elections, the record life cycle, and research projects. Record life cycle means 2 things. So if you think of the city secretary, specifically me, and then records manager, specifically Renee Edgar, your city secretary creates agendas, minutes, notices, resolutions, and ordinances, and that's part of the life cycle. And then your records manager is responsible for retaining and then the eventual destruction of said record. And so it's a cycle. And that is the same thing that is applied to then all records within the organization. Research project is both internal and external. And an example of an internal research project is we often have departments that come to us, and I'll give the most recent one, lead pipes. I believe Public Works came to us and said they needed to know when the city adopted the federal legislation for when we had to stop using lead piping within the city. And I believe that record was created before the personnel in said department were created. And so we had to kind of put our heads together. Some of y'all caught that joke. We had to kind of put our heads together and do some deep diving and digging for those potential resolutions, ordinances, maybe minutes of when that change took place. So those are the research projects. Governance. So what I mean by governance is that the city secretary's office has to, or is charged with, making sure that the city is always in compliance with these acts and regulations. Oftentimes, mayor and council, the public, or even city staff may come to our office and ask a question, and the answer is usually yes, but, or sure, however, because where our city charter may start to address an issue, we often have to then look at the local government code and see where that also lends an answer. And then let's say it's an election related question, then we also have to look at the election code to see where that may lend more additional information, and then make sure that we are in compliance and in complete governance with all of those acts and regulations. So that's what I mean by governance. In the city of Texas City, we make sure that we're in compliance with Open Meetings Act, Public Information Act, our own charter, election code, our own code of ordinances, etc. This slide shows a year capshot of what our annex records room looked like. So Ms. Edgar came on board November of 2024. These 2 pictures to, at least my left, were taken December of 2024. And as you can see, it's in a little bit of disarray, and it's also out of compliance with what the Texas State Library and Archives would like us to keep our annex and records retained rooms as. There's things on the floor, there's things that are a little bit disorganized. It's hard, it would be hard to find something in that room. We then also had some damage because of Hurricane Beryl. There was some water that got into the ceiling tiles, and we also had some damage to our AC unit. That's now been fixed, and so our facility is back to being climate control, which has also brought us back into compliance with TSLAC. And so now, present day, this is what our records annex room looks like. We are in the middle of a project, which is making sure that all of the maps and blueprints of the city that are currently being retained in that room are properly labeled and easily searchable. So here's some statistics about our PIRs. Public information requests in the city of Texas City are recorded by fiscal year. And so everyone knows that our fiscal year begins October 1st. So for October 1, 2024 to present day, we've received 408 open records requests, and that equals 165 hours spent in fulfilling these requests. That's not just within the city secretary's office. This also includes PD, fire, finance, every department. If you look down the list, you can see that in fiscal year 21 to 22, we had 1,406 PIRs compared to maybe fiscal year 23, 24, where we had 1,389. We're projected to have more PIRs than the fiscal year 21, 22 based off of how many we've received just in this 3-month period. Resolutions and ordinances, as you can see in our calendar year of 2024, we wrote and adopted 179 resolutions, 29 ordinances, and codified 7 of those. Codified means that we changed maybe a law or a rule that then had to change our code of ordinance. And so you can typically find those online using the city secretary's portal. And so it was 179 in calendar year 2024 compared to 124 in calendar year 2021. And tonight there are 4 on your agenda. 4 resolutions, no ordinances, and none that would be up for codification. The city secretary's office is typically seen as a bridge between the public and the elected government. And so we don't just stay within the walls of City Hall. Members of the city secretary's office can be found on the Mayor's Task Force on Homelessness, TCISD's CTE Advisory Board, NAGARA, Texas City Tells Podcast, TMCA's Saltgrass Chapter, and the FBLA State Conference as judges. And these are all things that we participate in our full capacity as city secretary or records manager, and typically happen during work hours. Our honorable mentions are things that we do voluntarily, not as necessarily associated with our position. And those are the Juneteenth Committee, the Texas City Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, and the Galveston County Junior League. Okay. Not to brag, but the city of Texas City is truly a place of a gym to work. The expectations set out by the mayor and our administration, coupled with the support for education, both personal and professional, give each individual the tools needed to excel. In 2024, the City Secretary's Office received the TMCA Municipal Clerk's Office of Achievement Award. Ramari was named to the 2024 Municipal Clerk's Honor Roll, which was 1 in 33 in the state of Texas. Renee earned her Government Archives and Records Admin certificate. And so I want to tell you a little bit about that. The GARS certificate program was created to recognize government officials' achievements in obtaining a knowledge base in government archives and records management. The certificate recognizes the completion of 40 study hours of approved archives and records management subjects or competencies within a 5-year period. The certificate does not expire. Renee completed this program within the first 6 months of her employment. The City of Texas City also hosted the Saltgrass Chapter's 23rd Annual Public Information Act Seminar for local agencies, municipalities. The speakers included attorneys from Olson & Olson, the Office of the Texas Attorney General's Office, and the City of Houston's Legal Department. We had 91 people attend that seminar, that one-day seminar. And all of these achievements are the first time that they've ever occurred within the City of Texas City. Any questions?
Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Ramari Lee? City
Congratulations, John, for your honors.
No questions. Did a great job. Thank you very much. No questions from the audience, sir, at this time. All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. And at this time, we will have both of those reports. I want to thank Ramari Lee and thank Ms. Jennifer Price for putting together some well put together reports for the City Commission. And we are up to our consent agenda. And on our consent agenda, we will have those items for your review. Commissioners, you have items 5A through 5D for your consideration. If you'd like any of them pulled for further discussion, you can do so at this time. I would like to pull 5B just so we can publicly make that notice. Any others? What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve items A, C, and D.
A second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Bowie to approve consent agenda items 5A, C, and D. It's been seconded by Commissioner Clark. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I just wanted to bring to our knowledge that the appointment of alternate member to our zoning commission, we are requesting that we appoint our retired fire chief, Mr. David Zackrell, to the zoning commission. And I just want to let people know, the citizens of Texas City, that we have lots of boards and commissions and committees that from time to time have vacancies, and those who would like to become active in city government can make that application through our city secretary's office. And this particular time, we have an alternate position open that we would like to appoint fire chief and longtime city servant, David Zackrell, as an alternate. And so I make a motion that we approve that.
I second it.
Are there any questions? All right. Motion has been made and seconded by Commissioner Clark. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I want to thank Chief David Zackrell for, even in his retirement, still wanting to serve the citizens of Texas City in a positive capacity. We are at regular items. Regular item 6A, consider and take action on resolution number 2025-004, authorizing the publication of notice of intention to issue City of Texas City, Texas Certificates of Obligation, Series 2025. We'll hear from our finance director and then some other special guests that we have with us today.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm excited to stand before you to present to you the 3 capital projects that we want to undertake for the next couple of years. These capital projects are needed to be aligned with the growth that we're experiencing in the city, and also to improve the services that we provide to our residents. The 3 capital projects are a new municipal complex, an engineering and public works building expansion, and then a library renovation. We have outgrown our current capacity in the facilities that we reside in today. Staff is having to double up and in some cases quadruple in offices. The building of the City Hall is over 60 years old and modernization. We have staff in multiple locations, and so by having a municipal complex, we'll be able to have residents come to one location. We'll have greater collaboration opportunity with staff being in one facility. And then we will actually save some money because we will no longer have to rent for our EMO center. We have 2 capital funding vehicles available to us to pay for the capital projects. One is a CO bond and the other one is a GO bond. So CO is certificate of obligation and a GO is general obligation. The difference of the two is that a CO bond does not require voter approval. However, the GO bond does require a voter approval, and that would be upon referendum. So what qualifies for a CO bond? This project, or the 3 projects that we are wanting to embark upon, qualifies because each one of these projects is going to either or do all renovate, improve, and equip. And those are the criteria for the CO bond. The cost of the 3 capital projects will not exceed $95 million. And there will not be an increase in the property tax rate to our property owners. On the screen here, you have the footprint of this municipal complex. It would reside on the footprint where we are now in City Hall. And you see where it's the parking lot, and you see that the building is a U shape, basically centering the fountain. It will have the same presence of the current City Hall in terms of where we're located. The municipal complex will house the municipal court, and this municipal court will serve as a dual purpose for commission meetings. So there won't be a need to have 2 courts. It will also house the marshals. As I mentioned earlier, the Emergency Operations Center, we're actually paying rent for that facility, but an Emergency Operations Center will be housed in the municipal complex, water billing, economic development, community development, and then administration. So administration are all of these departments that are listed, and then the facility management team. So this is the schematic or a graph or a map, kind of crude, but this is the footprint of the municipal complex. So at this time, I will ask that our finance advisor from Madison present to you the finance plan. Kristen? And we also have our bond counsel here as well. And so if there are any questions, we at least have bond counsel to be able to respond. Kristen, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rushing.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Kristen Blomquist with Masterson Advisors. I'm here with Drew Masterson and Tiara Smith and our team. And we have a plan of finance for you today to discuss the certificates of obligation. Is this a touch screen? It is. Oh, that's fantastic.
Really sensitive, though. So.
Okay, it's real sensitive, good. You should all have this in your packet as well. The first page is just a quick snapshot, high level of the summary of the certificates. You'll see, and what Ms. Cynthia had mentioned is this certificate of obligation will not exceed $95 million. This is a breakdown of the municipal complex, the engineering and public works building expansion, and the library renovation is also included in here. You'll see to the right, this is what the city's current outstanding debt is, their debt structure, as well as once we layer on this new certificate of obligation, and then you'll see what the total debt service is each year after issuance. At the bottom, you'll see a few preliminary statistics. This is based on the end of 2024's interest rates, plus a little bit of cushion, because we're not sure where we're going to be in the next few months. The total debt service will be just over $146 million if we issue the full $95 million, so that's still to be determined. And then the all-in cost is currently, with that additional cushion, is just under 4.5%. So rates are still very favorable right now. On the following page is our timeline. So we are here today talking about the plan of finance, and you will also adopt your resolution for of intent. That will be published in the newspaper, letting the public know that you all are going to be issuing these certificates. You'll be publishing that notice twice, and then we are going to put together all the different bond documents over the next couple of months, and then bringing the two important documents, which are the preliminary official statement, as well as the ordinance approving the sale of the securities to you for approval at your March meeting. And that's preliminary. We're going to make as best we can to bring that to your March 5th meeting. It could slide to the 19th, but we're going to do the best we can to get those documents in good shape. The preliminary official statement is basically similar to a prospectus. It's going to be distributed to, all potential investors. It has all risk factors, all financial information, anything that you need to know about Texas City will be in this document, so that an investor will know if they want to invest in these certificates. We'll also be getting a credit rating on the bonds, on the certificates. Your credit rating is currently a AA- and AA with S&P and Moody's, so very good rating, two very good ratings. And once we get our rating and all of those documents all buttoned up, we will then electronically distribute that preliminary official statement and then price the 1st of April. After we price and lock in all of our rates on that day, then it'll take a few weeks to get through the Attorney General's office, give them all of the information, and that's what you have your bond counsel for. They will make sure that transcript has all the documents and get the stamp of approval from the Attorney General's office. So we're set to close late April on April 24th. But like I said, some things, can shift the calendar a little bit, but we're going to try our hardest to stay on this timeline. The following page, okay, so there are two ways to sell public securities. So one is a negotiated sale and one is a competitive sale. And these are the different kind of factors go into that decision-making process. A negotiated sale is you pick an underwriter, you pick someone that's going to sell, or a bank that's going to sell your bonds, and you negotiate directly with them. Or you can put your documents out to the public, and any banks that want to buy your certificates can come in and put a bid, buy it all, and then you pick the lowest interest rate or lowest interest cost bidder. And because this is a high grade credit, it's a general obligation, which basically means is supported by property taxes. We're in a pretty stable market. We feel the best route to go is a competitive sale. So we will be recommending moving forward with the competitive sale for these certificates. We understand there is a desire of the city of Texas City to, have as much MWBE participation as possible. So we are going to be including, a certificate of best efforts in our competitive process to encourage MWBE participation of all those that are bidding. The following page is just some more about a negotiated versus competitive sale. Y'all can read that at your leisure. And the last page this is just kind of a snapshot of where the bond market is for general obligation, kind of property tax supported financings. So you'll see over to the very right, we're a little bit over what the average has been over the last 15 years. We're right at where the average has been for the last 20. So we're in a pretty good position to sell these certificates. We did have a really, really low interest rates back in 2019 through 21, but they've since come up. So I'll stop there. Any questions?
Thank you, Kristen. Commissioners, any questions? Masterson Associate here?
Just a comment, am I seeing this right, that the CO rate, the certificate rate is a little over 4.5%, and this one is a little over 4%?
That's right. Current rates are about 4%, but with a little cushion, because we're not entirely sure where the market's going to be, we're thinking about 4.5%.
So we could say 0.4% over a 15-year period?
So this is just historic. These are historic rates. So what rates were back in 2022 or 21, so on and so forth, back 15 years. This kind of gives you a general idea of where the market's been over the last few years.
Any other questions, Commissioners?
I have a question, but it's for Ms. Rushing.
Sure.
So the footprint that we saw of the municipality building is a two-story building that will give us
Yes.
additional space?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is to be able to build for growth and not to build for where we are today. So it will be a two-story. Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you so much for your presentation. Appreciate that. I do want to add to further underscore that this is just to authorize the publication of a notice of intention as we talk about the City Hall. And I want to thank both of you again for your presentation. As I look across the city of Texas City and see signs of growth everywhere, College of the Mainland has almost doubled in size in the renovations and improvements that they've undergone. Our school district has added new campuses and is at the result of bond elections and things. Lamarck High School is being rebuilt at this time. New stadiums, new campuses, Guajardo, new high school about 8 years ago. And so this City Hall has been here since 1955. It's about 70 years old. And the staff and the employees who work in and around this building can attest to the need that this particular municipal complex. 1955 is when the City Hall was built, and I just happened to have a picture of it when we had the new City Hall. There was nothing else around it. This building was built here by itself. We'll pass that down so you can see it. Just for context, in 1955 is when the first McDonald's opened. And the City Hall was here. In 1955, Disneyland opened. 1955, the Guinness Book of World Records debuted. And 1955 was when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. Velcro was invented in 1955. A loaf of bread cost 18 cents in 1955. Hamburger cost 12 cents. The average home price was $18,400. The first television remote control was invented in 1955. That tells you how long this building and just some frame of reference. And so I want to thank Ms. Rushing and even previous administrations for putting Texas City in a position to where we can embark upon this new journey and make this facility, this municipal complex, as pleasant and as a cornerstone of the city as it should be. matching the modernization of all other facilities within our city. That is our goal. Thank you very much. Commissioners, you've seen the reports and heard from Ms. Rushing as well as our financial advisors. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made to approve by Commissioner Bowie, seconded by Commissioner Knoxon. All in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. At this time, we're up to public comments. We had a few people who have requested to address the commission, and so we will call them here, and we will just remind them that they have up to 3 minutes to speak. And let's just come to the podium and state your full name. First, we have Ms. Barbara White. Ms. Barbara White wishes to thank the city for their support.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. My name's Barbara White. I've lived here almost my whole life. I'm 73 years old. But on behalf of the Come and See Friends, I want to personally thank the mayor and everybody else who has supported us in our efforts this week to get people off the streets, especially those who don't have any heat or someplace to sleep. We've been feeding them. We've been clothing them. We're doing God's work. We will be open till Sunday. If you haven't come by, we're at 510 13th Avenue North and see what we're doing. On Saturday, we're going to have beans and rice and cornbread. So if you want to come eat with us, you're certainly welcome. But we are open 24/7, and it's just been wonderful to see the citizens of Texas City step up to the plate and take care of their fellow citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. We greatly appreciate Ms. White and her efforts in working with the community and the city of Texas City for that effort to serve that population. Next, we have Ms. Riva Rodriguez.
Hello, everybody. My name is Riva Rodriguez. Heavenly Father, Lord, have your way. I always write something, but I never go off what I write because I know I got 3 minutes. So, first and foremost, 1955 and 2025, there is still homeless people at the city of Texas City. That does not have a warming center, not for the church, Mayor. And that's respectful. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Riva Rodriguez, and I want to address the council with my concerns on Dedrick's leadership. Again, I want to give you another reason why we need new leadership. During 2024 Barrel, you did nothing, Dedrick. Nothing at all for our community. We had to come together with no help from you. We had to utilize social media and help each other because you did not help us, citizens. All you did was talk about trash pickup. You could have opened doors for people, provide food and water. You could have checked on the elderly. But you sure did get them boats at the nursing home. You could have checked, you have the resources. You're supposed to be a leader, and look at the example you have shown. Nothing. Now we have a freeze that is affecting us all, and you still do nothing. A church had to open their doors to help people. They are not worried about liability. They are there to help. Texas City has plenty of buildings that can help, we're Showboat in a perfect area. Texas City has plenty of buildings there to help. Texas City has plenty. If you found a way to get your vehicle through the system, you can find a way to help our community. It is your responsibility to take care of our community. My purpose here is to bring light that the problem is, Dedrick, you have a full-time job. Running the city is a full-time job. You cannot do both. We need a city that is not ran by a self-serving mayor. We see what you are doing. Taking pictures does not prove anything from you. That's what I heard. You just took pictures. But did you physically help? No. Anyhow, Justice Farigo, and if y'all don't know me, I'm born and raised here my whole entire life. I used to work for the city of Texas City twice by the wonderful Mayor Doyle. I got my job back twice. But anyhow, we just need a better mayor, y'all. And at the end of the month, we will have a petition going. I need 1,000 signatures. Y'all come find me. I'm not hard to be found. So we can get Texas City great again. In Jesus' name, amen.
Next, we will have to address the commission, Mr. Brian Gutchess, wishes to speak on city business.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Getchis. What I just saw seems crazy. We are passing an obligation for $95 million, which will be $146 million over its lifespan. Are we crazy? The total budget for the city is $55 million. We're going to double it? This is crazy. I'm asking each one of you as city commissioners, I'm going to challenge you. When were you given notice of this proposal? If it was a week ago, that's crazy. Things are not passed to y'all in a timely manner. I don't get it. I had written a bunch of stuff, but when I heard this, $146 million, that blows my mind. And I'd like to ask the mayor, and I know you can't answer, how long has this been planned for? And how much did our city council people participate in this? That's a question for y'all. When were y'all informed of this proposal? A week ago or today is when I heard about it, but I should have read the agenda. Mayor Johnson, will you be transparent and let the public see the work the city staff has done on this topic? And if it's done, we would like to see it, to see who made the projections. I'd like to know how much they've been paid up to this point, and if the city council knew. Be transparent, Mayor. Do we really have a voice? Does the city citizens have a voice? And the answer is no. We feel it's deaf ears when we talk. We hear, I didn't get the information, I don't have it. And that's a direct reflection on you. And I hope you start legislating and governing like we elected you. I voted for you. I came talk to you. But I can't believe where we're turning. Mayor, we couldn't find money for public employees to have a pay raise until maybe this month. But we want to spend $146 million? I don't get it. It's crazy. It just looks suspicious that we couldn't find the money in the original budget to give public works people a pay raise. But now we want to spend $146 million. Or 95, however you phrase it. I just can't believe it. And I hope the citizens and the people come up. I don't know how we fight this now, that the proposal's been passed, but if I have anything to do with it, we're sure gonna vote, and we're sure gonna we want a voice. We want a long, hard, good voice, and hopefully you'll listen to us, and you can answer our questions. If I made a meeting with you, would you meet with me?
Your time's up. Thank you, sir. Anybody who wants to meet with the citizens of the mayor's office, call my office, can set up a meeting. I meet with people all the time. But thank you for your comments.
I have called you twice for an extra pass to the biosphere and haven't gotten a return call because they said you had to issue it.
I don't remember getting that call. The only thing I remember is you asking me for a job. But
that was in person.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's the only time I remember you meeting with me.
And that was when I congratulated you also.
No problem. Thank you for your comments. At this time, we'll move on to the next part of our agenda. We appreciate everybody who had an opportunity to address the commission. And I appreciate the information that has been presented thus far. At this time, we are up to commissioners' comments, and we'll start with Commissioner of District 1, and we'll come on down the line all the way to District 4.
Nice to see everybody back for 2025. I hope we have a great year. One thing I'd like to say is, Jennifer, on your report, I saw millennials are leading the way. So, hear a lot of stuff from other generations that we don't want to work. But we leading the way. I know some of y'all fading out, so I know somebody gonna say that. But
Those
nice to see
baby
that we leading
boomers
the
are
way.
dying out.
But that's all I got.
Yeah,
Thank you, Commissioner.
I want to echo what Commissioner Doctor said. Yeah, we're leading the way. I'm a millennial as well. Tomorrow is it National Law Enforcement Day? Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. I got it. So if you see a police officer tomorrow, make sure you stop and say thank you. And I'm excited for 2025 for the city of Texas City. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Commissioner Bowie?
I don't have any comments. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Garza?
You know, the millennials may be the muscle, but the brains are in the baby boomer side over here, so.
I second that.
And I'm glad everybody made it back. I look across the room and see everybody made it back for the holidays, and so I'm glad everybody's back and safe.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sharp?
No.
To
Commissioner?
my fellow Commissioner Keith Love, thank you for what you do, and to all of our law enforcement, thank y'all for what you do. You're very much appreciated.
All right. All right, thank y'all very much. As far as I'm concerned, Mayor's comments, I will address a couple of things that, first of all, I want to again thank our bond counsel and our financial advisors for being here. You know, there is a great movement in the city of Texas City, or I would even say surrounding areas. And that movement is an ugly movement. It's indicative of some of the things that's going on in society, and that is to kind of be anti-government or anti-leadership or anti-whatever. It's okay for people to question the things that this commission does or this administration does. It's absolutely okay. The public has a right to know. And there are avenues in which the public can make those requests to know and receive either public information or set up meetings, as some have done. And but what's not appropriate is to just make up lies and push those lies on social media, lies of corruption, lies of inappropriate things going on, because none of that goes on. Everybody in the city of Texas City is in compliance. And if we err from time to time because we are human, we work to fix whatever that error is. But for people to say that this administration, or particularly Mayor Johnson, has done nothing, that's absolutely false. But I don't have to address that because the work speaks for itself. As far as the city commissioners being informed on some of the things that we have going on, the city commissioners are informed. I have an open door policy, and they can inquire about any project that we have going on. I want to remind people today that we're not deep into this process. Today's vote was simply to accept a plan of intent to post a notice that we want to move forward. There's been no contracts executed. There's been no bids that have gone out. There's been no architects, nothing. This is in the very infant stages of this. So for anyone to imply that there has been some secret meetings going on and we're just bringing in the commission at the last minute, this commission has been more informed than the commissions in recent. I am the senior member on this commission, having over 20 years in government, and I know what previous administrations and previous mayors have included the commission in. And so I've tried to be as transparent as possible with our commissioners, and we've done that. In fact, every last one of the commissioners on this dais, except for one who had a scheduling conflict, met with me individually to discuss the plans of 2025 and the things we have moving forward. That's what this administration is about. It's about being forward and transparent with what we have going on in the city of Texas City. There are certain people outside of this organization, outside of the city of Texas City, who are embarking upon something called content creation. And content creation is where people can use social media to have a certain amount of followers, right? Some people do podcasts, some people do comedy, and some people spread lies about corrupt government so they can get followers and actually get paid to do that. And all I'm saying is that the city of Texas City and myself, we rarely pause to address issues like that, but sometimes you have to pause to let the citizens know that we are here to serve you. Every decision that this administration makes will not come before the citizen. That's not how government runs. The government runs to where the citizen elects us as leaders so that we can be the representatives and the advocates and make those decisions for you. And then we report back to you. And again, if there's some discrepancies and disagreements, there are mechanisms to be able to report and handle those things. So I'm very thankful to the citizenry of Texas City. Those people who do not fall victim to the falsehoods, to the rhetoric, to the propaganda, to the false narratives that exist out there about what the city of Texas City is or is not doing. We hold these meetings. We hold town hall meetings quarterly. We try to be as transparent as possible. As our city secretary, Ms. Ramara Lee, presented in her presentation, we have a record number of PIRs, public information requests, that come through the city of Texas City. And it's okay if people disagree with some of the things that we do. We're all created differently, right? But keep in mind that the mission of Texas City, the mission that Ms. Jennifer Price shared at the beginning of her presentation, is always at the forefront of all the decisions that we make. And so that's all I have for you. And I'm so very grateful that you came and took time out of your busy day to attend this particular meeting. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody here, as well as those who are listening online, and we really appreciate you. I'm going to ask a blanket request for all of those members of the City of Texas City staff. If you have something that you would like to contribute this time, you can do so. Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Ms. Jennifer Laird, our Director of Communications.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to let you know on behalf of Emergency Management, which I am not technically a part of, but there are many of us who are always on the scenes along with Joe. The mayor is always right there beside us, working through the night and taking his personal vehicle out to check for street flooding so that we can report back. So there's a big group of us that are always involved, and right now we're trying to find ways to make our response even better. So we have the hazard mitigation plan online right now. You can complete an online survey, and there's also a Teams meeting on the 24th. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Corporal Hurd?
We'll take the opportunity to invite everyone out Monday, 6:30 at the Gold Center. Chief Landis Cravens, the police department, is going to be promoting or having a ceremony to promote it over the past year, as well as the employees. So come out and support your police department and your police chief.
All right. I do want to say one more thing. The mayor's 2025 initiative is called Movement is Medicine, and we're trying to get everybody to get out and do some movement and stick to those early New Year's resolutions that some of us have made. Every other month, we're going to have some activity that will invite the public out. This month, we start off with line dancing. I think that's January 27th or something like that. And Corbin's going to lead us in a couple of line dances.
We'll be there.
We have line dancing. We have open rec. We have the mayor's bike ride coming up. We have a 3K walk. We got just lots of things planned for you. So stay tuned to our Facebook channel, and we're going to put some of those things in your calendar.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All right, this means adjourn. Thank y'all very much.